I like the coaching. I like that we're not seeing a mound visit. This kid's in the World Series. He made it this far on his own. Get out there and sling it, Mike. Oh, did you get him? Must have been hit by a pitch. All right, they're loaded. 1 out. Infield fly rules in effect. Still just 1 pitch away from getting out of this raspberry jam. Well, the kid wore one to start the game, so he's working through it. Nice yacker. A little high. Curveball's working. Needs to locate the fastball. Needs to keep his head and shoulders in good shape here. Nice chance to get some chatter from his infield, get some confidence. Yep. Oh. Well, that's his fastball, and that's where he wants it to be. So.
3-1 in favor of Rusk over the All-Stars from South Carolina, Tri-County All-Stars.
Nice slide step.
Next pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Second inning. Right-hander versus right-hander. Outfield about straight up. Pitch. Swinging a ground ball towards short. That's going to be a tough play. Throw to second. And now they go to the plate, and the throw there is off the line. A run scores, and it's 4-1.
Marcus, they're
out at second, but scores at the plate.
well. It's been a rough inning here.
Sorry, Ken. Jacob Rojo at the plate now. Shortstop. Number 11, and it's 4-1 in favor of Rusk. And now you got a meeting at the mound. And you wonder if this is just a meeting.
I think it's just about focus. They just want to keep everybody's head in the game here. It's also a chance for us to talk about Beaufort County Television, Beaufort County TV. Watch your local government and community in action on Beaufort County Television. Download our free app and tune in for all things Beaufort County. Available on all major streaming devices.
app available on all streaming devices, all major streaming devices.
I like it on Roku. I think
to check that out.
Yeah.
I'm going to stream myself. It's 5-1 in favor of Rusk. This point.
Very happy to have our guests from Texas in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina. Founded by French Huguenots back in 1562. Jean Ribot may be a person, but we still call that street Rebot. It is a pitching change, Marcus. We're having a little bit of trouble with these uniforms. They're split uniforms where the second number on the jersey is a dark-on-dark color. So we'll try to get you this handsome, tall right-hander's name in just a second here. Is that first baseman Chase Collins into pitch? Coach's son? I see a change of first base, which makes me confident that's Chase over there at the pitcher's hill on the hill. So he'll be available later in the tournament. Collins appears to be a lanky right-hander. Appears most comfortable coming out of the stretch. Kid can gas. I mean, that's got to be at least a 65, 70 mile an hour fastball. You know, 4 runs is not that much. It's only the second inning. Confidence is key here, Marcus. I think if we can just, see a couple quick outs for Buford, they'll be right back in business. Local's Restaurant. Convenience, specialty store. It's all on Possum Hill Road, right here in Buford.
Swing and a miss. That's a heck of a pitch there from Collins as he fired it in. Beautifully done. Bad to Aiden Robles.
The almighty equalizer.
To base. And throw to first is going to be in time. And that will end the inning. We head to the bottom of inning number 2. It is 5-2 or 5-1 in favor of Rusk. Bottom 2 up next.
Top of the second inning, they picked up 2 runs on 1 hit third.
Come live, work, and
Football, volleyball, basketball, softball, baseball, all right here on Buford's Own. And we're looking for sponsors. So send us an email at info@Buford'sOwn.com.
both pitchers have a pretty good fastball. Heredia, who's warming up for his third inning of work, has a second. I'm sorry, with the bomb of 2. Thank you, sir. But as you know, Marcus, the faster it goes, the further it goes. So if someone's throwing it hard, just slap it. It'll go plenty. Famous playoff home runs by non-sluggers: Bucky Dent, Aaron Boone. I mean, take your pick. Kurt Gibson with no lower body. Lasorda, Dodger baseball.
0-1 is Timothy Mazzell leads off. His first at bat. Heredia with the next delivery. Down low. I knew it wasn't going to take long. Jack Buck had the other call.
There you go. Does Heredia remind you at all of K-Rod? I just like 2-1.
2 balls. 2-1 on Mazzell. The pitch. Down low and away. 3-1.
I like his mechanics. It's a tight, from the stretch mechanic. That was
That was a beautiful bender.
Ugh.
You definitely have an affinity for the curveball.
I could never throw one like that.
Ball 4, and there is a walk for Mazzell to lead off the bottom of the second inning, with the Tri-County All-Stars continuing to trail 5-1.
Under the plate, center fielder, number 19.
A lot of baseball left to be played here.
Billy Hardy, center fielder, number 19, standing in for the first time today. Reminder that Loco Sports is your number one online source for sports news in the South Carolina Low Country.
Hey, Justin, big fan.
Wes Kerr, who's also here, contributes a whole bunch, as well as Max Araj, who's here as well. A swing and a miss there by the guy at the plate. That's, again, Billy Hardy.
Thank you.
Already a long look in, quick check at first, and the pitch. A little bit outside. Good attempt to frame the pitch on the outside edge, but couldn't quite do it. And the count now is 1-1 strike.
The catcher is getting the signals from the dugout. The coach is calling the game.
Simpson behind the plate once again, and he could not get to that one. Runner heading for second. Simpson not even going to throw it. As Mazzell, with a stolen base, gets to second base, and Hardy awaiting a 2-1 offering coming up from Heredia momentarily as he gets the baseball and strolls back to the middle of the diamond.
Big composure moment. 2-1. Can you get that count back to even, or are we going to see a hitter's count play out here? Should get a good pitch to hit.
Comes inside, almost nicked him. Called strike on the inside.
Wow.
A little bit surprised at that call to even count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second after the walk and stolen base is Timothy Mazzell. Two to Hardy. He looks to go around.
Here's he did not offer.
Held up. Looked awfully close. Full count.
Do you think the batter attempted to hit the ball? Would you call that an attempt, Marcus? I wouldn't, so agree to disagree. Oh.
Left field, and it's caught. In left field, the throw back to second. Going to get slightly away, but not far enough for Mazzell to make the catch. For Mazzell to tag, or the second baseman to make the play. But a heck of a catch there by Hunter Moore out in left field. He had to leap up for that one a little bit, doing his best impression of an Olympic venture. Speaking of the Olympics, which got underway here today.
Talk about an Olympic quest. To catch a line drive hit straight at you, it's not a fly ball. Very difficult to grade if it's in front of you or behind you. He actually overran a bit in front of him. Fortunately, tall enough to hop up and make the play. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes, indeed. Second one out. First pitch on the inside corner called strike to the left fielder, Owen Schaefer, who is wearing number 7. Davis Earhart, the right fielder, on deck. The set already a fire. Hit on the ground to second. Not fast enough, certainly, to make an attempt at third there. The throw to first to get the easy out. Schaefer is retired 4-3. There are 2 outs now. Davis Earhart, the right fielder, number 21.
It's a big at bat. You got a runner in scoring position. Can't leave ducks on the pond in a playoff game.
Complex in Buford. Marcus Walsh, Kevin Lenny with you. Here for Beaufort County TV. BCTV, Beaufort County Television. Then they were called strike. Not sure if that was a breaking ball, but Definitely looked like an off-speed pitch as it started to cloud up here. All of a sudden, that pitch misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here on field 1.
And we're doing the rain dance, or I guess the no rain dance, because we don't want any of that. Ooh.
Almost hit him. 2 balls, strike, a pump throw. I should say a fake throw for a pump and no throw.
Earhart hung in there. That one was a bit tight.
Simpson. 3 balls and a strike. Is that just missed on the outside corner?
Would you have your hitter take this pitch, or would you let him swing away? Nice scoop.
Over. Games 5-1 after 2 innings here in Burton at the Baseball World Series.
3-1.
Boys.
The Beaufort County Library offers 2 bookmobiles that serve all residents of Beaufort County. With nearly all of the services customers expect from a branch library, you can sign up for or renew library cards, check out and return books, and request books from the online library catalog. On board our fully handicap accessible 26-foot bookmobiles, you'll find a wide variety of materials, including books for children, teens, adults, bestsellers, and large print. Visit our website for schedules and more information.
Emergency vehicles are everywhere. Do you know what to do when you hear their sirens? Pull over and put your blinkers on. Move safely to the side of the road and let them pass. If you aren't able to pull over, please slow down. Pay attention to traffic and try not to rubberneck. Keep all your attention on the traffic around you. More people are on the roads driving to work, school, or the beach, and just living their lives. Our first responders, fire, police, and EMS save lives every day. We need to help them do their jobs safely, and at the end of the day, we'll all go home to our families. Emergency vehicles are everywhere. Do you know what to do when you hear their sirens?
Third. Here in Burton. Boys World Series. Marcus Walsh, Kevin Libby for BCTV. Beaufort County Television.
Your tax dollars at work.
Substation 2 on Trask Parkway in Beaufort. Beaufort's favorite subs. It's how we make it.
Marcus and I had subs today for lunch.
We did.
Always good to share a meal with your buddy. And thank you, our good friend Tony Verga, who has us employed here at BCTV for the day, got us a delicious meal, which I don't know where it came from, Marcus. Beaufort knows it.
Sorry, partner. Saying something and I went right in with a read.
You go ahead and advertise. DB is actually paid for their time on air. Go ahead and make sure they get it. Yes, a strike.
County All-Stars. That pitch is in there on the outside corner. You know who's in the fourth spot?
That's about as perfect a pitch as you can throw. Fastball on the black.
Side, all the way to the backstop.
He had a waste pitch and he wasted it.
5-1 favor of Rusk over the Tri-County All-Stars, South Carolina.
Rusk, Texas.
And I said Trusk. It is Rusk. Thank you.
There's a Trask here in Beaufort. It all kind of blends.
1-2. Wow. It was a miss, and it gets to the backstop. It looked to me like he found it off the run at first. And a heck of a play there by the new first baseman, Nazi Singleton, to reach up, grab it. He left his feet. Got airborne to make that play. But aboard at first is the runner.
I would expect an appeal on that, Marcus, but I don't think we're going to get one. Typically, you have the coach come out to the home plate umpire and ask one of the line, usually in the A position, your first base umpire, to see if they saw that ball make contact with the bat.
The catcher, but not making a throw, is Ricky Pope. So we have a Sunday on one team and a Pope on another.
Hey, we're here for it. Big, tall, right-handed pitcher, throws hard. It kind of reminds me of a Jake DeGrom, if you want to comp. He's a hard thrower.
Hit in the air, shallow center field. That ball's dropping into right center. It's going to get down. And runners at first and second. As there's a loop single for Sunday into right center field to second base.
Sunday fun day, getting down on a Friday. Two on, infield fly is in effect. No outs.
Stewart to second, Sunday to first. And Hunter Moore, the left fielder, standing in. Nobody out.
Very interesting, Marcus. What are we seeing here? Sunday's back to the plate. Runner remains on second base. And we now have a new count. Ooh.
Center field, that's going to get down. That's going to plug the gap and go to the wall. It's going to score a run, and it's a standing double. As scoring is Stewart.
Well, that's the hardest hit ball we've seen all day. Okay.
Hunter Moore standing in.
Man on second.
Walsh, Kevin Libby for Beaufort County TV. 6-1 in favor of the All-Stars from Texas. Rusk, Texas. That ball is hit down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Throw coming in towards second. Cut off at the plate. Another run scores. And Rusk makes it 7-1. As Sunday scores on a base hit.
It was a solid piece of hitting. Got his hands to the ball. That's all you got to do sometimes.
Throw a little bit offline, and it goes into center field, and that's going to get the runner over to third easily with that first dive. A feet first dive, rather. So Moore scampers all the way over to third base.
I sent that email to Jerry.
Hunter Eckel, again with a walk, his first time up. Where's number 9?
He's gonna write me a check. I told him. So that's
that.
Oh, be careful. Yeah.
Offering. Low and away.
Collins is throwing the ball hard, but this Texas team sure knows how to throw their hands at a good hardball pitcher.
Called strike, throw back to third, not in time. Echo back in there. Check that more back in. Number 9.
Ball, don't care.
Hunter Echo at the plate.
This is the US. I know nothing.
The set. The pitch. Instead of throw to third. And Moore is back in there. What is your favorite environment to ump? Throwing you
That's a
an
great
angle,
question.
Like we say.
I liked the fields in downtown Beaufort. I thought there was some great games down in the French Quarter. Bluffton High School is nice. They have a grandstand where you can really see pitching. One down, runner on third. Beaufort County does have some great fields. Hilton Head's got some nice ones. Burton Wells, obviously, right here is beautiful. That was some gas. So they'll take the out in place of the run. No play at the plate.
7-2.
Sorry. Oh, thanks.
And the bulk of my baseball play-by-play career was obviously when I was in college at Akron University. We only did home games in that day. And then in 12 years, it's great to be back behind the mic for a play-by-play baseball assignment. Slow ground ball to short, throw to first, and it's going to be close, and it's not in time.
Little seeing eye single.
Field hit or Malachi Overstreet to short. And it'll bring up Adriel Heredia.
Well, Marcus, we've been staring at the skies get darker and darker. I do believe in Dixie. You got to get to the bottom of the fourth to have it count. We're kind of on the edge here. Top of 3, and it's getting cloudy. Seven-run lead. Do you want to keep on keeping this inning going, or do you want to get yourself to the 4.5 inning? What's the coaching answer here? It's baseball. Let the kids swing as hard as they can every time. But you're never going to coach your kids to get out of an inning. But makes you think about it. Dark skies.
To 1. Pitch is high. Throw down to second. Had him beat. And the tag not in time.
Well, it was a great pitch to get him. It was a high fastball, which brings the catcher to his feet. He's cocked and ready to go as soon as the ball arrives. For the second baseman, you're going to want to let that ball arrive. You don't want to stretch out and get like a first baseman. We want to let that ball come to the bag before you play it and slap that tag down. This umpire does not have a low strike zone.
Gonna go to bat here. As the count clearly in his favor at 3 balls, no strikes.
2 outs, duck on the pond.
Definitely a classic turn. The pitch.
Boy.
Down low, ball 4. And that's a walk.
They got him. He tried to steal third on the pass ball, and they got him. That's your inning.
South Carolina. The Lipster and I will be back right after this timeout.
Somebody let them take one ball game, South Carolina, don't look back.
We go to the last of the third upcoming. Reminder that Beaufort County Television is our presenting sponsor. Watch your local government and community in action on Beaufort County Television. Download our free app and tune in for all things Beaufort County, available on all major streaming devices and by WHHI News and WHHI Television. The #1 news leader in Beaufort, Hampton, and Jasper counties in South Carolina. Download our free app and stay informed on all things Low Country with the WHHI app. Available on all major streaming devices.
Local news.
Nothing better. Beaufort's own media, the ultimate in Beaufort County sports live game coverage.
Big fan of Beaufort's Zone. Great work.
So here in Boys World Series, bottom of inning number 3 here on field 1, and Rusk out of Texas with a commanding 8-1 lead over the Tri-County All-Stars from South Carolina. Again, the Tri-County All-Stars are out of Hampton, Amber, Barnwell, and Allendale.
Check for your phone. We have a phone in this spot.
Heredia, I would say at this point, is probably having the performance of the game. Their pitcher has been shut down. When he gets into a high stress position, he has gotten the outs he's needed.
Think about Bulldog, Kevin, especially on the mound. Who do you think of?
I'm going to let you answer that one.
Bulldog. I think Oral Hershiser was listed as the Bulldog.
I love Oral Hershiser.
Days with the LA Dodgers and the Cleveland Indians.
You remember him with Cleveland. He was a fun watch. He was my favorite pitcher as a kid. Him and Mussina. I like their mechanics.
Ricky Pope getting off here in the last of the third.
Heredia still has his velocity. We'll see if he can maintain his control.
Oh. Swinging a ball down the third base side, just foul.
He got a pitch to hit, and he took a pretty good hack at it.
Then, with the rain that we had earlier, dropped into the 80s. It had to have been near 90 earlier.
96 as we drove in.
Okay. The pitch. And it's a little bit high. The game was supposed to start at 5, started at about 6:52. Right now, 80 degrees. Courtesy of the Weather Channel.
It's a beautiful summer day in South Carolina.
Indeed. The pitch. Swing and miss. Great breaker there.
Started outside, stayed outside.
And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Saw Heredia crack a smile for the first time. At least he knows he's having fun out there. Well, that's the point of the game. That's what they call the game. Ricky Pope, number 2, calling a good game. Does a nice job framing his pitcher's setups. Good eye.
Full. B and 2, the string is out.
Three balls, 2 strikes. You want to throw your best pitch.
Thinking a heater. play-by-play guy.
It's the pitch you can locate best. And for most folks, yeah, that's a straight old fastball.
It's a pitch.
Ooh.
It's a little bit late. When it's and heading
Little high, a little tight. Puts a man on. Now playing first base. He's doing a nice job over there. We've seen some scoops. Pope remains in the game. He's just the catcher, so for speed purposes, they'll have him go put on his gear.
designated runner.
Pretty much. Courtesy runner. There we go. Like that intersection where no one lets you go.
That's right.
Kids, when you get to learn how to drive, there's a thing called a courtesy intersection. Don't worry about it till you get there.
Down on the ground, back to the mound. Could be two to second one. Relay to first. And runner out at first. That is well done.
Do you think he held the bag a second? Again, nice chance for the manager to come out and appeal that if another umpire saw him come off, but we don't see one. I love that baseball bat with it looks like a pencil. See if we can put a point on this one.
Here's BJ Air. There is the pencil bat, indeed, that Kevin was just speaking of inside ball one.
Were you an Easton guy growing up? You were green Easton?
I was an Easton guy.
The green Easton or the different kind of color?
Sosa.
Ooh.
Called strike on the outside corner to BJ Air. And the count evens up quickly. 1 ball and 1 strike. And baby, oh baby indeed. That was a bright flash that I just saw.
I can't believe they're not.
And there's a strike. We are stunned that they are not stopping play here. That was about as bright as a bolt of lightning that I've seen.
We see the crowd.
In
Yep.
a couple of days, as there's a base hit to center field. I can't believe that this game's going to continue.
You see the fans starting to raise up, and some of the fans are heading for the cars.
Hit the left center field.
Number 10.
And we're going to continue as Chase Collins will come to the plate.
So we are not the game administrator, but as the lightning continues, here comes the conversation from Coach. Heredia did a great job. We can hear the thunder. Yeah. The reason it's a big deal, this is not professional baseball where the kids are out there with wooden bats. They're holding a piece of aluminum in their hands, and they're standing out in a field without a whole lot of lightning rods beside the thing they have in their hands. So
The thing Kevin may or may not realize when you're watching Major League Baseball is if there's lightning and thunder in the area, even with those games,
Yep.
they don't play.
that's correct.
There's, torrential rain they can play through it. The fields are obviously more moisture, wicking, if you will. They can go through a lot more moisture, but lightning and thunder, and they don't play. And we've seen both, and everybody's still out here. I'm very, well, we've seen and heard both. I'm surprised.
We're not home plate blue. We're not the game administrator, but so we're going to let it go. So back to baseball, Marcus, number 34 out of Texas. If you were a pitcher, number 34, who enjoyed Texas, do you have a name for me?
Smith.
Well,
34.
22, man. So I meant,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
no, I'm talking about the Ryan Express. I'm talking about the guy who had more strikeouts in a season than anybody else. When I was a pitcher, I always wanted to wear 34 and lost out to an upperclassman. But I love the number 34 in a pitcher. It reminds me of Nolan Ryan. And here comes our lightning delay as this kid gets loose, so we'll respect it. So, folks, if you're out there watching on Beaufort County Television, we may just hang out live with you for a rain delay. Marcus and I are certainly prepared for that. But in the event that we go off air, please come back and hang out with us. We know we're out there on YouTube. It's the right choice. Yeah. Let's read some ads and hang out. Beaufort Visitor and Convention Bureau. Visit Beaufort.com. Come live, work, and play in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina. Marcus, you have been here for how many years now? 10, 15? May 14th. Why is that day significant to you? You just remember it because it mattered? Marcus, I hear you do more than just sports. What do you mean choir? Which choirs are you in here locally?
Singing a bunch. Sing somewhat with the Hilton Head Symphony the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra Chorus and the church choir down that sings Christmas, Easter, or Lent services, and the Sunday after All Saints Day over at St. Luke's Anglican on the south end of Hilton Head Island.
I saw you got along with some of the Loco crew. They know you from church.
Well,
It's a small town. To cover a little bit of this baseball we were just looking at, 8-2, third inning. That's not enough to count as a game. They might pick it up again tomorrow. The nice thing about the playoffs is that the whole, everybody's here.
Score in the third. What were some of your first memories with baseball down here? As you've been down here since
2009.
2009. I was going to say
Yeah.
2010.
I transferred to the University of South Carolina, Beaufort, and I went to work with my dad, who was a baseball umpire. We did Dixie, which is, of course, what we're calling today. We did ASA softball. We, of course, did baseball and basketball at the high school level. Nothing beat it. Honestly, Marcus, to come out on the weekend and hang out with the kids, playing in these Dixie youth games, it's really about the community. You get to see the grandparents out. You get to see the aunts and the uncles out. And they're all here for the kids, and that's the point, right? So there's few things in life that are money free and just about the heart, and baseball, nothing better than it. Marcus, you've been watching the Olympics. Talk about what's competing against us on air right now.
A little bit of USA action, obviously pre-Olympics, but with today being the start of the Olympics, no, have not caught any of the action today.
So you didn't see LeBron James come alive to take down South Sudan in the fourth quarter?
Well, that was pre-Olympic action. The Olympics actually are starting today. I did not see.
That was not a qualifying game? I thought they were just out there for exhibition?
I don't know if it was a pure exhibition game, but that was the Olympics in themselves start today with the
Right, after the ceremonies, I follow.
So I did see the last couple of minutes. Actually, I saw it via you.
Yeah.
You sent me the
I
last
was
couple
very
minutes.
excited about it. Well, you like LeBron, and there's very few times as a Boston Celtics fan I can say to myself, you know what, I want to watch LeBron and cheer for him. But he represented America and brought us back against, again, South Sudan. That was their biggest game of the year.
Sports Complex. Marcus Walsh, Kevin Libby back here with you. And our score is 8-2 here in the last of inning number 3. We're still in a delay, but I was mentioning earlier before we got cut off with the commercial break here. MLB trade deadline. Randy Arozarena obviously moving from Tampa Bay to Seattle. So
Yeah.
he's moving from fish to coffee, from salmon to coffee, from fish to beans, as I said earlier with you.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? And just overall with Major League Baseball, pretty interesting.
Important player, big WAR, big win above replacement player, guy who plays tremendous defense and has a little bit of a bat. Looking at our YouTube numbers, Texas, what's up? You guys are really tuning in for a rain delay. We hope you're doing well down there. Feel free to let us know in the comments if you are a Texans fan or a Cowboys fan. Now,
Texas, Rusk being very close to Waco, which is the home of Baylor University, the Baylor Bears.
but football obviously is, I think, probably what that part of Texas is known for. But this baseball team, shout out from the South Carolina area where we put vinegar in our barbecue sauce. But very happy that y'all are hanging out with us here for this rain delay at the Dixie World Series.
Kevin, start this game, all these guys definitely comes from Rusk, and it's most definitely Heredia, who did a whale of a job on the mound, throwing 42 pitches in just a couple of innings. Really worked a lot of different areas of the strike zone, was able to mix and match, and really had these South Carolina Tri-County All-Stars overmatched his entire performance here today.
Marcus, I'm sure I'm seeing what you're seeing, which is a high level of control on all of his pitches. Specifically, when we see batters making contact with his breaking ball, they have their front foot out, which means their timing is off. So not only is he locating, but he's really making sure the balance of these hitters is off. No one has hit him hard. By contrast with some of these Buford pitchers, they're actually throwing the ball a little harder than Heredia. However, they're not as accurate, they're not as consistent, and these Texas bats really know how to get those hands through the zone. It's great to face a high velocity pitcher because if you can get bat ball contact, baby, that thing's going to fly. So we're still seeing some lightning strikes here, folks. Don't want to get your hopes up, but we sure love your company. Beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina is a great vacation spot. We hope your friends come back with stories. Marcus, I was getting a Whopper down at Hilton Head on Wednesday because we have $3 Whopper Wednesdays. And I was just delighted to see that there was a Dixie Youth, family. They were from Virginia, but they had the Dixie Youth stuff all in the window. The crowd we have from all around this country has been remarkable. It's fun to see baseball fans anywhere, but especially in your hometown, and Beaufort's representing well.
This tournament goes on till Wednesday, and you will see Kevin and I, and hear Kevin and I this weekend, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And looks like we're going to have more baseball even tomorrow, with the fact that I'm hoping we can get this first game in. We were originally supposed to call 2 tonight. We'll just have to wait and see, but there's going to be a lot of baseball, and who knows, I may be coming out here to help out and call action through the rest of the week, into next week as well. It's, again, just great to be back in a baseball environment, and this environment here in this press box, very, very nice.
It sure is fun. We got air conditioning.
That is nice too.
This weather is going to be a lot better coming through the rest of the week. This is going to be probably the worst day we're going to see in terms of weather. So we love hanging out with you. This is hopefully the worst we'll see it, but beautiful weather for baseball. I remember coming from Massachusetts. We used to import Georgia clay just to get a feeling. Marcus, did you ever have to play baseball on we used to call it like a rock field? It was like it was like slate ground up. Coming out of the north, if you lived in a place where it snowed and they were cheap, they couldn't afford Georgia clay. So you go out there on rocks and slide around. Texas, it's nice to be in the South where you can play baseball year round, make the kind of bat ball. And here's me continuing to complain about a northerner. I loved being a baseball pitcher because I could only really throw 3 months out of the year. So when I was throwing in the summer, mid-season form, I had my gas. I never had a dead arm, but I never had a bat. And so I was always envious of the kids that could go out there and swing a baseball bat when I was running around in the snow. Yeah.
Have to do, or what do the South Carolina Tri-County All-Stars, excuse me, have to do to try to get back into this matchup against a team that has had, a couple of really big stars that we've talked about, Heredia and company with Rusk. What needs to happen going on here in the bottom of the third inning when we get back to playing baseball?
The best thing they could have done was knock Heredia out of the game, which the coaches did for him already. I believe due to pitch count, they're trying to restrict pitch counts on these kids so they can be viable in the games. Yeah, they really do. And pitching, as you know, is depth is everything. Confidence is only as deep as the next day's pitching. So
One thing that I would say, obviously not being an athlete on this level myself, but doing these types of things where you're in a different environment and you're so busy, rest and hydration.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, making sure that you fuel enough and you get enough calories in you, but rest and hydration are key, especially for these kids. I remember doing things in college similar to this, and it was enough to wear you down. As the lights are coming on here in the press box, definitely some big keys for these kids to stay with it and stick with it. But it's been great to see some 14 and under baseball here in the Boys World Series, the boys division of the 2024 BBB World Series here from Beaufort, South Carolina, and Burton Wells Park, field number 1 here on this Friday, what is turning into a Friday evening right now, gray and cloudy, and I think I just possibly did see another bolt of lightning, so we're not going to be playing here for a bit.
yeah, we'll keep hanging out though. We had a buddy that would call football for WHHI TV, Chuck Zapek, Big Daddy Z, who was a 4-time NCAA champion with Penn State. He played football in Canada. He played for the Chiefs in the NFL, but
I think he played
he did. He absolutely did. And my recollection,
legendary.
it was in Dallas. Yes, he had relationships down there too. Big Daddy Z, we miss you, brother.
We do.
But the fun thing about working the game when Big Daddy Z was on the call was, as a crew person, he'd always remind us to stay hydrated. And he'd say, if you're going to get hydrated, don't just drink water. Have salt. Have electrolytes. Electrolytes have what plants crave. So he'd always be impressed. He'd walk around with, well, actually, no, I bought it. He'd always talk about getting apple cider vinegar.
Yes, and soy sauce.
And soy sauce for the salt. So during our, whenever we were out in the August doing football and we're carrying our gear, we'd always invest in some water, some apple cider vinegar, and some love for Big Daddy Z, Chuck Zapek.
Stevens on the play-by-play call,
Mhm.
and Chuck really was a thrill to work with. Had great stories, and much like you and a lot of people, of course, that I've worked with over the years, including Daniel Court for football. Much like all the guys that I've worked with, even going back to my college days, he had just such
Joy.
enthusiasm and
Yeah.
joy for the game, and obviously with that great career that he had first starting at Penn State, and then you talk about what he did, throughout his illustrious NFL playing career in terms of the teams that he played for, legendary ball clubs. Tell you what,
When you're doing what you love, you're never going to work a day in your life. Marcus, I have a feeling a big chunk of our audience is from Texas, considering these numbers are larger than what we're used to from the audience we've built here locally. Now, we understand. We wish here in Beaufort the stars at night were big and bright, right here in Beaufort County. But unfortunately, we have clouds and plenty of them. We are known for our tropical rains. Beaufort is subtropical. That means we are right on the edge of where you get palm trees.
here slated for the weekend before we get into the elimination portion and we start lowering the bracket and dwindling down the bracket, I should say. The 2023 three major World Series winner. Last time this was played, the Southland in Louisiana, North Charleston in 2017 won the major World Series winner. North Charleston at 16, 15, and 14 as well. Going back to West Georgia at 13. And this area has had some really good, really fun baseball teams from what we've seen over the years. North Charleston was the pre-Major League World Series, or Major World Series winner in 2014, and then Buford took it home. We found out
Yeah.
this first game in
Oh, yeah.
Texas not too long ago.
The folks here in Buford still talk about that team. It was a big one.
So much participation, predominantly from the southern part of the U.S.,
It's Dixie Youth.
but all over as well. And so that's great to see with indeed the Dixie Youth. Been great to be here to this point, and
That's
hopefully before too long we'll get back to baseball. But again, clouds and some issues with the weather impending right now. We'll see how the rest of the night goes on for sure. We were talking earlier about possible teams that we could possibly see in the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Make a deep run. And with the fact that the trading deadline is just a few days away, and really a flurry of moves. I talked about a Rosarena to Seattle earlier from Tampa Bay, but Philadelphia, who take on the Cleveland Guardians in Philadelphia starting tonight, and Cleveland's currently winning that game. They made some moves earlier today, getting a very good player in Austin Hayes from Baltimore, another very good player, and Baltimore's made some moves with Tampa Bay getting Zach Eflin. I think Philly, Baltimore right now looks like a very good contending chance for both those teams out of their representative Eastern divisions. That could very well be a World Series matchup that we see. Philly and Baltimore just a short drive down the highway or up the highway, depending on where you're coming from. You know that part of the country a little bit more than I from being from Boston. So what do you think about that? And do you have a World Series pick heading into this trading deadline area?
I think it's a fun year because we're seeing small market teams play great, specifically a team like Baltimore, Cleveland, obviously in the playoff mix. If you're going to ask me if I'm putting money on something, I'm going to go with a bigger market team. I'm going to say something like Yankees or Houston. And I'm going to put them against the Dodgers in my series. But I think that the depth of pitching becomes so much more important as you get down to the stretch. And the teams that can pay $20 million for a fourth and fifth starter are the ones that usually hang on.
Tony Berga and everybody at BCTV for having us here to bring these games to you. Beaufort County Television. Also a reminder that the Substation 2 on Trask Parkway in Beaufort, for state results. It's how we do it.
Now, this is the Dixieland World Series, but this is being held here in the New South, beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina. We alluded to the fact it was founded by French Huguenots back in 1562. That is about 58 years before the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth, but the British won the war, so that's what we remember. Here being the New South, we are probably most famous for one of two things. That would first and foremost be Robert Smalls. He has a middle school name for him right down the road here, but during the Civil War, he commanded and commandeered his ship, the Planter, and took it from Confederate forces to the north and then became a Union ship captain. Robert Smalls became a congressperson in the New South after the Civil War. Now, during the Civil War, the first black woman to lead a Union military operation was Harriet Tubman, known for the Combahee Raids. And what she did was she freed over 400 slaves with mariners in support of the Union Army right here in Beaufort, South Carolina. So if you come to visit, and we hope that these families are out here enjoying it, we really do celebrate what we have for heritage here. We have the Penn Center Cultural Center. That's where Martin Luther King wrote a lot of his speeches during the Civil Rights Movement. We had so much history here in terms of civil rights history right in Beaufort. It's a beautiful place to visit for so many reasons, Marcus, not just the weather. I guess we could talk movies. There's been plenty of movies shot in Beaufort. The Big Chill, for those who like the 80s. Probably the best and most culturally significant film shot in Beaufort is Forrest Gump. I'll let Marcus elaborate on that. It's where the park bench was for Gen A.
Watched something the other day, and we came across a couple of years ago a very significant, interesting fact that Tom Hanks had said was that when he was, working with the movie, figuring out who his acting cast was going to be, his fellow actors, he came across a young man by the name
Taken. Seats taken.
Yes.
The kid in the movie. Forrest. Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Michael Connor Humphreys, born March 1st. I know somebody who has a March 1st birthday. Justin Jarrett.
JJ.
March 1st birthday. Wes Kerr also has his birthday in March, as do I. The three guys of March. How about that?
What's your astrological sign?
Pisces.
All right, so if you got a kid to plan, pick it a Pisces. These guys are great.
So,
The child.
back to Michael Connors Humphreys. So he ends up meeting Tom Hanks, and they're talking about the movie and whatnot, and trying to figure out the style of voicing, which is something that us in the broadcasting world know very, very well. How do we make the voice for Forrest Gump?
The affect.
And they thought, well, Michael should learn how to talk like Tom. Tom would create a voice because he's been acting for eons and doing all of it. And Tom reversed field, if you will, and said, actually, I want to learn more about Michael and learn how Michael talks. And maybe it would be easier if I talked like Michael. So that's what they did. And that is how Tom Hanks ended up getting the voice for Forrest Gump, the adult, obviously, off of the kid, Michael.
So he learned his affect in the modeling of that child.
Yeah.
Gump, why do you assemble that weapon so fast?
And you're wondering, what does this have anything to do with Dixie baseball?
Sure.
Well, we are going to see Mississippi in action, the Hattiesburg team, either later tonight or tomorrow, and they're going to be going up against one of the Beaufort teams. So there is the connection there. And
well, he was from Greenbow, Alabama.
And that's very true. That's true. He was from Greenbow, Alabama. You're right.
We can talk Mississippi. They got a great college town going on there.
The connection though is that Michael
Uh-huh.
was the actor was from Mississippi, Kevin. The actor was from Mississippi.
Thanks for getting me back on board.
Was indeed Greenbow, Alabama. You are correct. You would do well on Jeopardy, my friend.
From the county of Greenbow.
Except you didn't
follow your story.
Form in the phrase of the question.
What is a Greenbow?
There you go. So just
It's a big part of Beaufort's history is our movie history. We have a great film society here. There's an annual film festival if you want to come out for an occasion. The Mississippi Bridge, when Forrest felt like he felt like running, we had a sign on the Beaufort Turn Bridge that said Mississippi River on. We left it up for about 5 years after the movie. It's a piece of our history. All the Vietnam scenes are shot in South Carolina's most popular state park, Hunting Island. If you like the beach and you don't like houses on the beach, come hang out on Hunting Island. It's a blast.
Against Beaufort, or it could be later tonight, but
hopefully
later tonight or tomorrow for sure.
We don't sleep. It's fine.
So we're looking forward to that without question, and we're having a blast here at the Boys Division 2024 World Series at Beaufort, South Carolina. This Burton Wells Park, beautiful facility, and I'm really very impressed with how they were able to get this field set after the first wave of rain came in.
Yep.
Around in between 4 and 5 o'clock.
I mean, this team is based in Cherokee County, Texas. And what I've enjoyed is that they have all stripes and all colors on this team. And it's not my heritage, but if anyone has a good anti-rain dance out there in Texas, I think this is a time we could sure appreciate here in beautiful rural South Carolina. You want to compete for barbecue and for football. Respect.
Didn't play in Texas, but did play in Mississippi. Was Brett Favre going to Southern Miss? We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
So got another connection into the world of sports. Obviously, with Rusk, Texas, as close to Baylor and Waco as it was. You think about certainly Robert Griffin III, a couple other players that played over the years in Baylor. And a very, very good school there in the Big 12.
That's quarterback country. Now, I'm not checking those comments, but I want to know if you want Dak Prescott or CJ Stroud. If I was a younger person, I often ask myself who would be a better quarterback. Now, as a Browns fan, you never had that opportunity. Now, you have that Tim Couch tattoo.
Tim Couch, Kelly Wolf. the right track this year, which is very good.
Well, they have that Texas. They have that quarterback they traded for from Texas and gave all that money. Is Watson coming back? Yeah.
Yeah, we got time to talk football. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens in the college game as well as the pro game, even as well as the high school game here locally. I'm going to be calling a whole bunch of high school football and high school football coverage starting next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have Kevin alongside as well, and we'll also let you know at Sunny Summers Cafe next to Publix on Robert Smalls Parkway is in Buford. You can see us for breakfast and lunch. And DB Baseball is offering you baseball for over 65 years. Good amount of baseball, Kev.
It beats a small amount of baseball. Marcus, what was the first game you ever went to? First pro ballpark.
The year was 1996. It was the Cleveland Guardians, actually the Cleveland Indians back then, against the Minnesota Twins. Julian Tavares was the starting pitcher for Cleveland. And we left. It was a Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock game, because I think I saw another flash of lightning.
Yeah.
And we left in the bottom of the ninth inning. Cleveland trailing, I believe it was 3-2. There ended up being a runner on second, and Albie Espinoza was at the plate. He had a 2-run homer to win it for Cleveland, and we heard the call of the home run with Herb Score and Tom Hamilton as we were driving away. And this was our first game, and we were like, what are we doing? Why didn't we stay? And so that's the situation that we had back then. Here's the situation now as you take a look at the field. We continue to be in a rain delay here at the Boys World Series. The boys division 14 and under. You also have the junior boys, which is 13 and under. Here at Beaufort, South Carolina, and Burton Wells Park. Reminder that WHHI News is the #1 news leader in Beaufort, Hampton, and Jasper counties in South Carolina. Download our free app and stay informed on all things low country with the WHHI app available on all major streaming devices.
When I was a kid, my dad split season tickets to the Red Sox with a bunch of guys at work. It was $8 to sit in the grandstands at Fenway Park in 1992. Soon after that, there was a baseball strike, and it was a misery to go from being a kid with tickets to the park most weekends to then not have baseball. My dream was to see Roger Clemens pitch. And again, these were tickets that were split amongst my dad's work friends. I generally got the games against teams people didn't want to see. So I always wanted to see Griffey Jr., never got a Seattle ticket. That's okay. Yankees games, I wasn't getting those games. But one time, I got a game where, surprise, surprise, the Rocket Roger Clemens was going to pitch. So I went to church on Saturday for the Saturday Mass. So it's Sunday, I could get up early and get a clock in time for a 1 o'clock start. I like watching pregame. I like watching batting practice at Fenway. So my brother didn't go to church on Saturday with me and my dad. So my dad took him on Sunday morning. And my dad and my brother rolled out at 10 o'clock to go to Mass. And at 11 o'clock, when they should have come back to take me to this 1 o'clock game, they weren't there. And at 12 o'clock, they weren't there. And at 1 o'clock, I found out my dad's car broke down. Did we give up? No. We took my mom's car. And we got into Boston to find out that Gladys Knight and the Pips were playing the half shell. So we got in there about the 5th inning to our $8 seats in dead center field. And the Rocket was throwing great. All right, he gave up 3 runs. It was a 3-2 game against the Twins. And unfortunately, the Red Sox were batting in the bottom of the 6th and in the top of the 7th. Now pitching for the Red Sox, Eric Hansen.
Oh.
I never saw the Rocket live.
Oh, man.
But then he went to the Yankees, so, forget him. Him and Boggs. Thank God they never signed Nomar. To love and lose, my friends. To love and lose.
Typically think play-by-play guys.
You like Jerry?
Some color guys as well. But in terms of PA guys, does it get any better overall? And Cleveland has a great PA guy.
Yeah.
With Bob. I'll find his last name in a second. But another Bob, who was a great PA guy, Bob Shepard of the New York Yankees.
Oh, it's fun with him on air, yeah.
Now batting for the New York Yankees. Shortstop number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2. So good. Who's the Boston Red Sox PA guy?
I don't know. I listen to the call on TV. It's been years since I could afford those seats, but it sure is fun to have a baseball town.
Boston Celtics, eh?
Oh, my champion Celtics, Marcus. I would love to talk to you about how Jaylen Brown wasn't selected for the U.S. Dream Team because apparently Nike, who gives these guys shoe deals, now informs the roster. I think we're on Beaufort County channel. Nike's not going to advertise on this station. I think it's ridiculous that the corporation is informing American values, specifically our Olympic team. I think Jaylen Brown's awesome. And if you want to critique a company for manufacturing things outside this country that uses child labor, I think you should go ahead and critique it. So I think it's ridiculous that a brand is informing our Olympic basketball team, where the guy who was the best player on the best team in basketball when he won the championship and the finals MVP was left off the team because he wasn't marketable for the company that wants to make money off of the Olympics. How's that for a sports take?
Hey,
So assuming we still have some Texas fans hanging on, tell me your favorite Texas Ranger of all time. I'm between Nolan Ryan and Pudge, but you got a lot of good. I mean, come on, it's the Texas Rangers. You got a lot of players to choose from.
Pudge.
Who doesn't love Pudge?
A big fan.
Yeah, the gambler. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the name of it. But I mean, going back to the heyday of Texas Rangers, Pudge, Aaron Seeley, also
He was a Red Sox. I loved Aaron Seeley
Texas back in the day.
and Seattle.
Yeah, we continue to see lightning strikes. Looks like over our field one. And then on the other side, we've got a lot of really good players there too. As we continue to have our rain day programming, we hope you're enjoying us just talk about anything and everything. Here on what's turned into a loud and I was going to say loud and thunderous, but a loud and bright night with lightning and thunder over top.
We have an excellent grounds crew. It'd be nice if we had tarps, but the crew's doing a great job with what they can. It's not a rain issue at this point. It's the lightning up in the sky. A lot of electromagnetic activity. Let's keep talking Texas. Who's your favorite cowboy? Did they sign him yet? Did they give him his money? They're going to. I think.
Used to be one of my favorite Cowboys
Yeah.
time, and this is gonna stir up some good memories and possibly some bad memories. Dallas Cowboy fans, if you're listening, I was a huge Tony Romo fan.
Oh, I think
Big-
he's
Big fan of Tony Romo.
even after the fumble on the extra point. I think he's still pretty loved in Texas. I hope you would know better than I, Texas.
In the day, get much better than Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, and Michael Irvin? I doubt it.
Their offensive line was incredible. Larry, have you seen Larry Allen?
Larry Allen.
Yeah. Leon Lett.
What a beast. Is really
Charles Haley.
teams. Four members of the Cowboys that have since passed, but at least Larry Allen.
Unfortunately. Deion Sanders in his prime, playing money between him and San Francisco and Dallas got flexed by Neon Deion.
Yeah. Sure.
Atlanta didn't pay him.
This has got to be talking a little bit of football now. This really has to be a scenario where the Baltimore Ravens, they've got to go all in on it this year, don't you think?
They've had to go all in the past 5. They have a top 5 quarterback. Why wouldn't you? The defense is excellent. Harbaugh is great. I like the way they draft. I mean, they're consistently a top 10 defense, and ball control. That's half. I mean, they don't give the ball away.
I picked them against Philadelphia last year for the Super Bowl. I almost said World Series. For the Super Bowl, I did make that my World Series pick this year. just now, Baltimore and Philly. But I think I got to go with Baltimore again. I mean, you can't count Kansas City out. Man, oh man.
You love Baltimore. I get why. It's fun to root for somebody that's finally coming along. Talking baseball,
NFL.
NFL. Oh, NFL is wide open. I think that. I mean, the Texas teams are fun. Again, if I was a kid, I would prefer CJ to Dak. CJ is up and coming. In terms of title contenders, I think San Francisco is still stacked top to bottom, in spite of their quarterback. The Eagles are top heavy, but pretty good. I think it's going to be tough to get through either of those teams coming out of the NFC. Looking at the AFC, Marcus, the Chiefs are still your champs. I don't see anyone slowing them down.
I'll tell you right now on podcasts that we do.
The Marcus Walsh Show on Spotify, Apple Pods, go get it.
Go check it. We've not recorded in a while.
If this is doing it for you, there's hours of just like this. You're never alone with the Marcus Walsh Show. And food and pop culture. We can talk more about food.
Last year, if you'll recall, I took the Los Angeles Chargers to win the NFC West or the AFC West, and I had the Kansas City Chiefs as a wild card. I'm not making that same mistake this year. Kansas City still is above and away the best team in that division in the AFC West, and it's not even close. It's not close at all.
The most important position in sport is the quarterback. You picked the team that had a top, I'd say probably top 6 quarterback in Justin Herbert. But what they lacked was a coach. So hopefully that part's fixed. They didn't get Bill Belichick yet.
Going back to baseball here, a lot of people say, of course, that the most important position on the baseball field is right in between the middle of the diamond there on the pitcher's mound. And you take a look at what Rusk was able to do with their guy.
Heredia. Yeah.
They gave a little over 2 innings, 42 pitches. The pitch count might be a little bit high for the innings. I tell you what, he had these South Carolina Tri-County All-Stars baffled from pitch 1 to pitch 42.
Yep.
And really threw the ball well. I was impressed too on his ability to throw the ball to first, get runners to, be a little bit on the lookout that they might get picked off.
I don't think they stole on him, did they?
No, I don't think they did. It was really something to behold, the way he controlled the matchup.
Yeah.
And certainly with his battery mate, Heston Simpson, really did a heck of a job. On the other side, there was some good runs that we've seen so far for the Tri-County All-Stars. Billy Hardy made a heck of a play in left field earlier with a really nice catch. Actually, he lined out. It was a really nice catch the other way earlier on in this ball game. That catch by Hunter Weaver in left field. A couple of big hits and whatnot, scatter a couple of runs, but give Michael Myers and even Chase Collins, who have played multiple positions so far in this game, a lot of credit, because they've done a nice job getting through some action with multiple positions and playing really well, giving them a good go.
Situational baseball. One team came through in the clutch. The other team, frankly, ran some pretty good pitching.
Without question. Going to be happening, whether eventually if we're just going to, maybe come back tomorrow and resume as is, have a suspended game, or wait this out and try to come back here with action at some point on field 1. We're still waiting, so.
And so are the players.
Players, coaches, etc.
Well, Marcus, take a look over your. We're not gonna have a camera out there, folks, but as you look over your left shoulder, they're just having fun. They're throwing a football around. Look at that. But yeah, that Buford Tri-County All-Star team's out there throwing around football. Players are still here. We're still here. So maybe.
Lights, obviously.
Yep.
So with the fact that there are lights, we could play deep into the night.
Beaufort County does a great job of funding their Parks and Leisure Services Department, We have amazing facilities. Again, baseball under the lights as a kid to me was exotic. These kids grow up on it. It's a great baseball town.
Evan Christian was heading this big time tournament.
Mhm.
But, you know, he's also coaching 800 and doing a great job with that as well. Got Isaac Roman, who's going to be playing in a game, if not today, tomorrow, and looking forward to that. Looks like we are seeing some players heading back towards the field.
We see-
Are they heading out? I see bats and whatnot.
We see kids heading to the dugout. We see parents setting up chairs. There might be baseball yet. So yeah, we made it through half an hour without lightning, y'all.
Up. Delayed programming and delayed entertainment here from the.
We know you're not here for us. We know you're watching. We're not under any illusions here. You're watching your kids because you want to see them take home a championship, and we are fans. We're here for it. Just because you're not from Beaufort County doesn't mean we don't love baseball. Wherever you're loving the game, I hope you're having fun, Texas.
To it. The two. 2.5.
I mean, the biggest disruption is to pitching. For the Texas team, they already switched pitchers and let that kid throw what? Probably a full warm up of 8 pitches and then maybe 3 or 4 before the delay.
Yeah.
So do you want to get him loose again, or do you want to bring in another pitcher? I would frankly save that kid because I don't like, just from my experience as a player, getting my heat up on my arm and then having to cool it down and then having to get back. As a starter pitcher or even a reliever working multiple innings, anytime you have a big inning and you're going like, really between more than 15 minutes between getting out there, it's tough. So we'll see whether the pitchers adjust. Depth of pitching, especially in a tournament or a series like this. Weather's a factor. Nothing beats depth of pitching and defense. The team that scores the most runs usually wins the game.
That's what Herb Score said all those years ago. And Matt Underwood said, boom, let's take these headsets off. Herbie said it.
I was trying to. I like that you got the baseball illusion. I was trying to improperly quote John Madden. John Madden, it's in my brain. Boom, what a hit. Pow. But Madden, of course, famously said, the team that scores the most points usually wins the game.
2 in favor of Texas over South Carolina. Rusk against the Tri-County All-Stars here on Field 1 at the Boys Division 2024 World Series. Played through what possibly could be Wednesday here in Beaufort, South Carolina at Burton Wells Park. Field number 1, Marcus Walsh, Kevin Libby, and the rest of the folks from BCTV.
For the folks here in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina, looking to see their kids play, we're seeing some long toss between Singleton and Earhart. I'm not sure if either of those kids is going to be coming on to pitch, but that would be my expectation. I think the kid they had pitching was the coach's son, right? It was Collins that was last on the hill for Beaufort, and batting was Beaufort, right? So we should be expecting Texas to be on the hump, on the bump rather. Make your jokes.
That looks right.
Yeah. Let's see if I can bring up the count for us. Bottom third, 2 out, new count, new hitter.
And that's the way they had some issues with Lightning, and they played on for a little bit and then took everybody off.
That
Players getting warmed up, loosened up, I mean.
field looks good, no puddles. It's all about electromagnetic currents. Yeah, activity. Science. Go science. Marcus, what was your major in college?
My major was sport communication. my minor starting out as electronic media production, and then I switched it to speech communication.
If someone wants
So
to,
it was a communication major and minor.
to the sports nerds out there, by the way, if you're a great athlete, you can also be a call guy. But let's say you're like me and you're not particularly good at performing the sports, and you'd rather fall in love with them and talk about them. What would you say to a young person listening that wants to get into broadcasting?
For me to get to where I've gotten to, and certainly meeting people, being able to network has been a big key for me. I would advise anybody to do that. And I would also say that if you hear the word no, and trust me, folks, you will, it is okay.
Yep.
It's going to sting, it's going to hurt, but it's going to be okay, because eventually, and this is not just for looking for a job, this is life.
Yeah.
Eventually, the right situation, the right job will come around, and it certainly did for me. And I'm very blessed to be part of what I do for WHHI TV for the Low Country, Bluffton, Beaufort, South Carolina, Hilton Head as well as into Savannah. Being able to sing as well has been a big part of my life. Additionally, so I would say those are the key things, and don't let adversity get you down. Keep fighting through it. It's not always easy, but keep fighting through it, and you'll be great in the end.
If you're the type of kid who turns the volume down in a video game so you can call it yourself, you're probably the kind of person that would do well in this industry. Almost everyone I've met from our generation, the people who have less gray hair than some of the folks behind me. Yep. he's for anyone with kids, that's the moment where he's doing it again. Marcus, as a Guards fan, grew up listening to Tom Hamilton. And if you are from the Ohio area, or if you're just a Guards fan, you're going to know that voice. Give us some Hammy.
The Guardians are taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. How about that?
How about that?
Tom Hamilton, one of the greats, without question. And I had a chance to meet him. He and Matt Underwood, they were broadcast partners in 2006. Actually, Matt Underwood was not the full reason, but a big reason of why I ended up going to college in Ashland, because he was originally from there. And learning from them, incredible. Having a night to be next to them, really, really cool.
Texas, as you look out on the field, indeed, you should be giving a hoot. That's number 34 on the bump. I never liked pitching off those types of mounds, Marcus. I always wanted a real thing bump with real clay. That appears to be one of those fake mounds where they kind of have you on top of, but it usually feels to me like plastic. Yeah. But to be fair, they're all fine and gas on top of that thing.
Texas. Logan is getting his tosses in. Logan Boot.
I liked Heredia, brother, but this guy looks like he is a similarly excellent pitcher. I like good mechanics. He's got this. It's kind of like watching a foul shot. If he's got the same mechanics every time, he looks comfortable in it. And the big thing for me is the arm slot. If he's got the same arm slot for his fastball as he does for his breaking ball, good luck.
Hey, here's field one.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. In case you're wondering if you're a real baseball fan, if you hung on through all of that, again, we don't think we recognize we're not that entertaining. You really love this game. Thanks for sticking with us. (9:03 p.m. here on the East Coast. Saludos. Yeah.
Olive blue and gray.
Ah.
I'm glad I could make
I like your when you make musical references. It's my jam. Buy myself a gray guitar and play. Here we go, buddy.
it there easily.
Should get these cameras back in operation for you all here in just a second.
Not use the windup, of course, with the runner on at second. And he backs away. Right-hander at the plate. The Tri-County All-Stars of South Carolina. That pitch looked pretty hard, and it's on the outside corner, a strike.
Nice location.
And the count is 0-2. 8-2 on the score after a lengthy rain delay. The second of the night. It's the set by Hoot. And the pitch a little bit outside, trying to frame it, but unsuccessfully.
Good 0-2 pitch. Good waste pitch.
Mark Swalsh, Kevin Libby. Here on field one. Now the 1-2 offering coming up from Logan. It is in the dirt and bounces away. Runner will get to third easily, make the wide turn, think about coming home. The ball still is not going to retreat. Now the throw back to third, and it is not going to be in time. So runner at third. Now for the Buford around the Tri-County All-Stars of South Carolina.
Good bit of base running. Nice hop.
After 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Last of inning number 3, 8-2 in favor of Rusk from Texas. The Tri-County All-Stars of South Carolina, encompassing a good 3 areas of the state. And here in the Low Country, that pitch. Wow. That looked awfully close, but called a ball. 3-2. What'd you see from your vantage point on that pitch, Kev? That looked awfully good, I thought.
Close pitch. I think he did miss it a little bit to the outside. This kid, Collins, trying to help himself, assuming he's staying in the game as the pitcher.
Yes, indeed. Base hit for Collins. And so Collins is aboard with a single to right center field. It hit the green grass. And it's now 8-3.
Came back well with that fastball from Hoot. Didn't try to do too much. Just kind of put his hands to the ball, a little inside-out swing. On base.
So Michael Myers now to the dish.
He was our starter.
He worked hard. His time there on the mound.
He's not done. He'll be back on the hill before the tournament's over.
I have no doubt about that. This pitch just misses a little bit outside. Ball 1 to Michael Myers.
That will be KWRD Louisiana.
It was here.
I tell you,
We're in the last of the third.
Who's got some of that country gas?
Starting right now, batting first, number 23, Luis Diaz.
8-3.
And second behind the dish, number 21, Pete Rick.
Texas.
Batting third.
The Rusk
Batting third,
Texas
batting
team
shortstop,
with the lead. There's a strikeout side corner.
Keller.
And the count
Batting cleanup, playing first base, number 10.
now 0-2.
On first, but look out for a steal.
Without question. That's Collins there at first. He's going.
Nasty.
Caught. That pitch in there, a strike. Well done. Logan Hoot seems very composed rather.
Poised to number 11.
Like a intimidating presence there. The pitch. Swing and a miss.
It's
Good
a
pitch there.
it's a big over the top delivery. You can't pick up on the ball until it's out of his hands.
So Myers does indeed get punched out.
1-2.
No, he doesn't. Okay, take that back. Thank you, Jeff. So we'll do it at 1-2. That's high inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Play balls. I have a question about imposing pitchers with their poise on the mound for you in a second. The set. And the 2-2. Just a little bit outside. Count goes full. At 3-2, the string is out. Who's the most imposing guy in the majors that you've seen with your eyes? I've got a guy in mind. I wonder if you guys the same way.
Pedro Martinez, 1999.
I was going to go a rival of Pedro Martinez as a throw to first. And runner go to first. And indeed, it's a ball 4. It was a pump throw. Lock there. I was going to go Andy Pettit. Tall left-hander. Had the stare with his gloves. Almost
Pettit, yeah.
Pettit.
What a pickoff move, too. Yeah, New York Yankees, Andy Pettit, he had problems sleeping. So in big games, he always had those giant dark circles around his eyes.
Yes, indeed.
Third base, Mason New. At shortstop, Cameron Bell.
That pitch is on the inside corner. A called strike
How about Randy Johnson, especially prime Randy?
without question. Doesn't matter if it was New York, Seattle, Arizona, Houston,
Montreal.
who delivers. And that's a little bit too far inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mazzell at the dish. Pitch. And he goes around. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Chris Sale in this Chicago year is pretty intimidating. Pretty close to Randy.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 8-3 here in the last of inning 3. Rusk out of Texas really got off to a great start. Swoop fires in a pitch, and that's high and inside. Evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Buford trying to get back into it, and they can with a big hit. Again, with 2 runners on base. Runners at first and second. Mazzell can put one into the outfield. One could possibly score. That one down low and away. And the count goes full.
Buford is showing
3-2.
excellent discipline. They're swinging at strikes. They're making contact. Chance for a clutch hit, maybe even the comeback.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out. And 2 on. Buford trailing 8-3. The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's a huge strikeout. And the inning is over. We have played 3 innings. We head to the 4th. It's still 8-3 with Texas on top of South Carolina. Coming up in just moments.
Randy's back, Marcus.
And how about that?
Commercial, y'all, so we're going to hang out without saying much. Enjoy it. It's not yet puddling. Puddling indicates we will be stopping play. Not yet puddling.
That is definitely a good sign. We've had more and more rain here today. The weather looks much better for tomorrow and Sunday, which is very good. Reminder that Beaufort County Television, you can watch your local government and community in action on Beaufort County Television. Download our free app to tune in for all things Beaufort. Available on all major streaming devices. They are the presenting sponsor of the 2024 DB Baseball World Series.
Beaufort's Own Media, the ultimate Beaufort County Schools live game coverage. Beaufort's Own.
want to give a shout out to our guys at Loco Sports, Justin Jarrett, Wesker, Max Araj, and the entire crew. Your number one online source for sports news in the South Carolina Boone Country.
Marcus, we have puddling. The home plate blue has taken the home team off the field. We are back in rain delay. It is the top of the fourth inning.
How about this?
We gotta get to the bottom of the fourth to have this thing count.
This is rain delay number 3. Rain delay number 3. Mother Nature is certainly throwing some loops here today in game 1 here at field 1 of the 2024 DC Baseball World Series. The Boys World Series. The boys are 14 and under, and the Junior World Series is 13 and under. And we really saw some good action in the very short time that we got back to action here. Kevin, you take a look at what may transpire. I mean, who knows? There's no lightning with this delay though, so at least not yet. So we'll see what happens. But the rain again is coming down. It's like you see a lot.
Really, Marcus, my favorite Norman Rockwell painting called The Bottom of the Fifth. If you're bored, you want to Google it. Bottom of the Fifth by Norman Rockwell is a pretty good example of what we're dealing with here.
Yes, indeed. It's rain the whole way, and it comes back, unfortunately.
Marcus, what's the best movie you've seen in 2024?
Boy,
I saw American Fiction. It was a Academy Award nominee for Best Picture. It's based in Situate, Massachusetts, which is where I'm from. Really enjoyed that film.
I have to be honest. I have not really seen, especially in theater, many movies.
You haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
lately. I would say a movie that I do want to see is Maestro,
That's the one with Bradley Cooper.
starring the great Bradley Cooper. As he is Leonard Bernstein. That looks to be a great one. It's again, we are in a rain delay here at 2024 DVB World Series.
We have our fine umpire and crew in here with us, enjoying some air conditioning.
Got him behind, and not only to enjoy the air conditioning, but to get out of the rain.
Yeah.
Because they've been stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting all night. As if we, of course.
I want to shout out the guy who trains me to be a Dixie youth baseball umpire, Jerry Hart. He's working games on the far side field. I'm hoping we'll get a call when he's calling the games. Jerry Hart, the assigner for local baseball here in Beaver County. Great teacher. Love you, Jerry.
It's been quite a day. Lots of rain here. We started, shortly after a big rain shower, and then we had more rain and more lightning, and now we've got more rain. So we're in another delay. And with the last delay that we just got through just a short time ago, we talked about so much. What are some keys? Let's open up a little bit and broaden up a little bit, not just for the games and teams that we could possibly see into tomorrow and Sunday, but in general, for a team to win this World Series deep into next week, quite possibly. What are some big keys, especially team unity and from the umpiring side of it, umpiring for years.
Yeah, confidence. The teams that win are good, solid, culture teams. So to make a basketball reference, coming from Boston, you have Bill Simmons, and he would always talk about how championship teams have the secret. The secret, as described by Isaiah Thomas from his time with the Bad Boy Pistons, the secret is chemistry. So if you like your teammates, it goes incredibly far. So these kids are on vacation together, hopefully most of them, traveling to a beautiful vacation spot, beautiful South Carolina. Why we moved here.
Yeah.
At this age level, confidence is so incredibly important. And from day to get consistency out of these kids just isn't going to happen. So if we're all together at the hotel, I'm a big fan of that because I think that develops team chemistry. If they're all separate with their parents, it's fine. But I think that nothing is better, Marcus, in a tournament like this when you get a team that's on a roll, a hot team. Again, confidence is always going to be as strong as the next man's pitching. If you can get usually have 2 good starters if you're the travel team. If you get 3 or 4 kids to show up, all of a sudden you got depth. If you can get some kids that normally don't perform to perform, you'll be in good shape. Baseball is bottom up. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a really good book that features how sports that are bottom up are distinct from sports that are top down. Well, I mean, football, most important position on the football field is your quarterback. It's top down. Quarterback makes all the throws.
Right.
I know you want to read something. Basketball, you don't have to let your bad players shoot. You can have the best players shoot all the shots. In baseball, all 9 players hit the same amount of times. You're as good as your worst hitter, and it's all based on average. You can have the best hitter. You can have Shohei Ohtani, but if you don't have a complete baseball team, you're not going to win the playoffs or even be above 500. So I can't wait to see these guys as a team. Whichever one congeals, whichever one has confidence, and again, timely pitching. What do you think about?
If anybody is watching that is a Green Bay Packer fan or from the state of Wisconsin, Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love agree to a deal courtesy of ESPN that makes him the top paid quarterback in the NFL.
Jordan Love's making more than Pat Mahomes.
Jordan Love apparently is, surprisingly enough. I just lost it, but it's a 4-year deal for Jordan Love. So he's staying in Green Bay for a while.
So football, like baseball, has collective bargaining. That means that relative to the owner's portion of the revenue, the players must get, I believe it's less than 50%. Baseball is pretty good by their union. Anyways, they must get a certain number of the cap. So for a quarterback to make that kind of money, pretty standard.
It's a 4-year, $220 million contract, including a record $75 million signing bonus. It's $155 million in new full guarantees. Sources tell a reporter from ESPN, and that reporter, of course, is Adam Schefter. It's done on Friday. He gets a record deal of $75 million signing bonus, as well as I just mentioned the $155 million in new full guarantees. And tell you what, he's going to be in Green Bay, suiting up with the green, gold, and white for a while. So Packer fans, get ready. Something else that Packer fans should also get ready for is the Detroit Lions had a tremendous year last year, and they look to do the same this year. I just found out the other day that the shade of blue, whether it's alternate or the actual home shade of blue, that Detroit wears is called blue. I found that out on Wants to Be a Millionaire, courtesy of Jimmy Kimmel, who is the new host.
Marcus, I heard you do a Regis impression.
I do a Regis impression.
You know what I would like to be?
A millionaire.
Have you heard about these brackets, Marcus? There was an ad in the 90s featuring Regis and Kimser.
Harvest Crisp. And speaking for myself, they are really good.
You're welcome.
I haven't had a Harvest Crisp after far too long.
I'm not sure they exist anymore. It's like,
oh, that makes me sad.
Well, let's go get them. Sorry, kids, your parents might get that reference. You mean it's low fat?
Low fat? It doesn't taste low fat at all.
It's almost like it's all sugar.
Joy, it tastes crackers. You're talking about the snack love cookies. Yeah, those are great. The devil food.
If you're not self-amused, you should be.
That's right. Absolutely.
Oh, I love our shows.
This is just like us talking shop on the Vertical Show and just talking shop anytime.
Hundreds of hours of this type of banter.
Check out the Marcus Walsh Show. It's been months since we recorded an episode. But I tell you too,
There's back in the sports season.
there is so much content out there that we've done, and
We've covered name, image, and I was very proud of our ability to cover the name, image, and likeness streams in college football. We were ahead of that. I know we don't have any cameras in the field right now, but the Buford kids are having a good time. I was talking about chemistry. These kids really seem to like each other. They've been playing together all summer. With a tri-county like that, they're coming from different schools.
Hampton, Bamberg, Barnwell, and Allendale. They're coming from all over the low country area.
And they're about to become old enough to drive. So it's cool to have friends in other towns. Absolutely. You don't realize how much of a nerd you are in your school. Assuming that's a problem. I don't know.
Or you can check out and visit Buford.com. Come live, work in Buford. Beautiful Buford, South Carolina.
Games are done tonight.
Buford County, South Carolina Parks and Recreation.
Then go back to the other schedule. I'll have something else.
It's like you're here, but sounds like we're suspended until tomorrow morning. You know?
Sounds like suspended.
Two-man crew.
Very handsome Jerry Harden with my shoulder. But we will be wrapping up. I'm sure Marcus and start heading away. We're going to be here with you through Wednesday. It's going to be fun. Texas, we saw the numbers, guys. Keep on coming out.
8-3, top of the fourth inning, opening out, starting the fourth tomorrow morning. We're going to be back at 8 a.m. So we're going to be back right early, ready to give you more basic here at the DBB World Series. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We will resume the boys division of the 2024 World Series here from South Carolina at Burton Wells Park. For Kevin Libby, the rest of our crew, I'm Marcus Walsh here at Field 1. We will see you again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Check us out then. And until then, have a great night, everybody. So long.